Hello, and welcome back to Spiritual Maintenance. Today's video is on the manifestation killer, aka triggers. Okay, so as I talked about previously in my manifestation video of how it works, talking about how, you know, other timeline, you're working your way towards that timeline. Triggers are what keeps us stagnant and stuck because it makes it so that our focus is on whatever that trigger is, whatever we're stuck in our head about, whatever is causing us fear, anxiety, those kind of things. And so our perspective, our focus is turned away from these different signs, people, synchronicities, different things that are there for us to pick and recognize and be like, oh, if I call this person, then maybe that will bring me to my dream. Or if I go I just have this urge to go visit this place, and then that place is set so that you meet a specific person who gives you information about something, and then it snowballs into your manifestation. But if you have these fears, these anxieties, then you're not going to want to listen to your gut. And another thing is that when we are in trauma mode or have been susceptible to abuse, we don't listen to our inner voice because it's like we don't trust it. So it's almost like we are programmed to gaslight ourselves. So when we feel these pushes by spirit to move forward, we second guess ourselves. We're like, no, no, maybe that's not right. That's not it. And we make excuses not to go with our gut instinct. So, kind of explaining how this works. Thinking of triggers as a bear. So if you're going into the forest, you see a bear, you have the trauma response that comes up. And I think there was a video I explained all how that works about the increased heart rate, increased breathing, adrenaline, all those things, and that the way out of it is that deep breathing, because that is the one thing of the trauma response that we can control is that deep breathing. So again, reiterating, the more you deep breathe, the more you ground yourself, and the more you can move forward on your dream. But if there is someone, let's say in your home, who your brain sees as that bear, that trigger, your your brain is hyper focused on that. So somebody can come in who is meant to help you, and think of it in terms of that bear. If you're looking at this bear and you're like, okay, how do I get out of this situation? How am I going to be safe? And this person just comes up and wants to have a talk with you. You're not going to be very polite to them. You're going to be like, get out of here. Like, there's a bear. Like, what do you want? You're going to be snippy. You're going to be very closed off to them because your focus is here. And so those are I want to say choices, but it's not even that. Opportunities. Those are opportunities that you're turning away for fear of whatever trigger is. Um, Also, when you are triggered, your focus is hyper focused just on that bear. And so everything else, so yes, this one person comes in, but also your thought process is very limited too. So you can't think of anything else other than I need to get over this bear, instead of being like, oh, wait, this isn't a real bear. It's a person. And I have the ability to say, excuse me, you can't talk to me like that. Because your prefrontal cortex is turned off, you're working in the amygdala. So again, when you feel yourself being triggered, deep breaths, feel yourself be grounded, feel everything become clear, and then make the choice of what you want to do moving forward. The meditation I'm going to do for this Friday is going to be specifically on triggers. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to talk you through, like we usually do the muscle regression. I'm going to focus on something recent that you've seen yourself get a lump in your throat, a nervous feeling in your stomach. Maybe your heart got heavy with something this week. Focus on that. And then I'm going to give you some talking points to figure out, okay, what, what is this? And then I'm going to ask you, if fear was not a factor, what would you do? And you can go ahead and start thinking of that now, and playing that out in your everyday life. When you feel these symptoms come up of that anxiety, anger, think, if fear wasn't an option, what would I do? And then go with that, because that's what's going to push you into your to your dream world, because then your brain will calm down once it realizes, oh, I can overcome fear. Because the more you overcome fear, the more your brain tells it that you're safe. And then your focus starts opening up. You can start having creative ideas. You start noticing things around you that you hadn't noticed before. And then you start spiraling positively to your goal. Doing the meditation, though, will help with those really stuck ones. If something comes up and you're like, oh, this is really yucky, I'm going to need that meditation to help me through it. Awesome. And you're going to be able to use it as many times as you want. But you still have the ability to just go on without the meditation and just keep asking, okay, if fear wasn't an option, what would I do? Um, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. Oh, there was a study recently done. I cannot remember who it was done by. It was not by me or anyone associated with me, but it was just something I had read about, where they did an experiment about lucky and unlucky people. And what they noticed is, following lucky people, they would put out, like, dollar bills and things like that in the paths of both these. And the people with the lucky perspective mindset were looking around, and they were noticing, like, oh, look at this, I found this. Or they were noticing billboards that they were manipulating. And so they were able to find these opportunities all around them. Whereas the people with the, oh, I'm unlucky mindset, the triggered mindset, the very focused in your head, they were literally stepping on the dollar bills and not even looking anywhere near the billboards. Or if they did look up at a bus that had something written on it, um, it wouldn't register what was even on the bus. They would just look up, see the bus, like, oh, this bus is in my way. Like, completely missing the message that the programmers put into place. So it really is all a mindset, and getting out of that limited perspective, taking those deep breaths. I'm back in my body. I'm taking control. I'm not letting fear stop me anymore. And that's what I'm here to do for here on out. My videos and meditations are going to start focusing on different parts of your body and what types of emotions and traumas are stuck in those. So I'll be going through the chakras, or center points, starting with the root, talk about safety, security, those kind of things. And we're going to work our way all the way up to the crown chakra. And as we're doing it, I'm going to be talking about the different body points that store, like I said, different emotions. And so we'll work all those out so that by the end of all of them, we're all hopefully living our dream life and can, share it with each other and pass that information on to others that we want to help out of the lower matrix, if you know what I mean. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. And yeah, just be on the lookout for my meditation on Friday. All right, bye.